Oh, alright, kids, so what we're going to be going over is how to make just any normal clip on LBP, because some people are starting to struggle with it, and some people are beginners. This is for beginners, pretty much. So you would get a sticker panel, like the sticker panel. You can get a sticker panel, or you can get the hologram. If you get either one of those, be sure you tweak it and go to the brightness, or for the not yet go for the brightness for the hologram, and for the sticker panel hit the opacity, put it all the way to 0, so when you undo or when you hit preview you won't see. So right after you do that, go into your tools bag, get a sequencer, put the sequencer on the sticker panel. Then right here you get a camera, a movie camera, not a game camera or a snapshot camera, a movie camera. So right here you would get the camera. Let me just put something right here for my subject, because you want a subject to put as your like on your camera. So I'm just gonna use that dinosaur. So you would get in here, then you would hit X and put the camera to your subject, or you can take it off your subject and put it over here so you can make the camera move. And let me show you how to make the camera move. So you can make it longer like this, so you can either have it like alright, so if you have it at 3 seconds right here, this is 1, 2, 3, this is 3 seconds. So you move it back once. By doing this or moving it up and down, you just use the right stick and move it up to make it bigger, and then down to make it smaller. So you would just put it over to the left to make it smaller a little bit, and then you get the camera again, the same camera, and go to transitions. The transitions is right here. So you could go to hard pan or soft pan if you want it to move, and fade if you want it to fade. So right here I'll just use a soft pan, and then for this camera you just move it right here. If you want it to be a long camera, if you want it to be a long and soft camera pan, it'll be, you just make the cameras longer. So you can make the cameras both bigger by just stretching out your poppet and then doing the same up and down thing on your right stick. And when you're doing that, you hit square on the sequencer to test it out, hit preview, and unpause. And when you're done testing, always undo. Do not pause. Always undo. Do not pause or do anything else, okay? Because if you just let the thing play, it's gonna mess up what you're doing. So if you have the dinosaur moving and you test it and you leave it like that, it's gonna keep moving and it's gonna mess it up. So right here you would have, so you move it, and if you see the black top, the one on the top and the one on the bottom, if you don't want those there, you just go down to the settings, disable controllers, hit no, change it to no if you don't want it to look like that. Then you go to the next one so you don't have it like that either. So test it out again without the black tops. Pause. So, and also you can change the flatness. That's by just hitting left or right on your D-pad. That's on the left side of your controller. So the D-pad. So if you're going to the right, it'll make it more 3D. To the left, more flat. So I would usually go to 25, 30, or 40. But right now I'm going to go to 20. I'm going to go right here. I'll put the camera right there. It's going to look like this. you can see it starting to, you can see the camera starting to flat up. You could also have the flatness to this one too, but you don't have to. So I'll have it 25. It'll look like that. You can also, for if you have the camera close to somebody, you could also have the depth of field in the back, so it'll look like it's fuzzy in the back. So like if the camera's close to somebody, it'll have it fuzzy in the back like this, and in the front it will look like that. So if you want that, so it'll look like something like that. And if you want it to keep going, you just take this same camera right here, the camera that you already have on the bottom, you put the same camera over here, and then so right here, look, you would take this camera, the one you already used, put it over here, and then you make the other one like that, and then you take this camera and do whatever you want with this camera. And be sure, if you have it on depth of field back, turn it off so you can see. So it'll look like that. Do not mess with this if you don't I never use this, just never use it either. I mean, you can see what it does. I actually don't even know what it does. But I don't know what it does. But just don't use it if you don't want to. You can also use the shake. So it's just moving it right and left. Left is all the way off, right is going up and loud. So if you have it at the flattest frame, that's 5, it's gonna shake the most. So just leave it at 20, and then turn to 0, turn the shake to 0. So it'll look like this. That's what it'll look like. And if you want it to be all smooth together, then you just put these cameras together like that. So it'll look like this. If you want it to look even smoother, you can put the cameras like this. Right after. So it'll look like this. If you want it even smoother, just keep moving it in like this. Like that. So it looks smooth. And if you want, like, say if you want something to do an animation, like me, just get a sackbot. So if you want a sackbot to do an animation, you just get a sackbot. Make them not happy, then R2 to pull that up. Then you just get the character animation tweaker, put that on the sackbot, and just get any animation that you want. I'll have them coughing. And if you want that animation to happen once, turn it off, turn the loop off. But if you want that to keep going, then just leave it on. So I want it off. And to get that animation to start, I'll just get a battery. Put a battery on the sequencer. Move this sackbot back. Move them over here. Let me show you what I'm going to do right here. So right here you would see the sackbot. Now when you have the sackbot, when he's on camera, you want him to do an animation. You don't want him to just stand there. So I'll just put the output from the battery into the start and stop. The start, always the top part, not the bottom part. I don't know what that's used for. It says blend strength, but I never use it. I just put it on the top. and you and always make you making this, you can make this bigger too. And if you however long you want the animation to go, that's how long you have to make the battery, so it'll look like something like this. It'll look something like this, like that. You gotta do it so it doesn't. You see how he pulls back like that? You don't want that to happen, so you got to move it as long as you want to, or you can make the animation faster, so you can just so it can happen fast. So if I usually put it on 150, I'll just have it around this part. 150, just make it as long as you want, so it can be smooth, like that. And usually when I make fighting scenes, I always put the battery this small, leave it at the smallest it can be, because you don't want it to be too long, because your sackbots will be doing the fight too short. And whenever you're making a fighting scene, always leave it always leave the sequencer at 1.1.0, like this. Or you can make it faster if you want to make faster fighting scenes, but always leave it at 1.0. So right here, you would just get another animation so you can have that punch. Something like that. I always put this animation, I always have a punching animation to 150 so it can get, so the battery can be that small, so it can be fast and quick. Punch, and then do it again with a different animation, like that. Go up. Always turn the loop off when you're making a fighting scene. Always turn it off. Punch, punch, punch. Just keep doing that same thing. And I always use throw. Throw looks like a punch. This is the fast throw. This is the more actual, like, big punch throw. Throwing is pretty much throwing something or punching. That's what I use it for. And if you get confused and you think that you already used this, that you didn't use this battery, then just check under it to see if this wire's coming out. If it's coming out, then you already used it. So you get another battery and then put it in there, so it'll look like this, like that. That's pretty much all I have to show as of right now. But if you guys want a part 2, I'll be sure to make a part 2. Only if you guys in the comments say make a part 2. If you guys don't want a part 2, then I'm not making a part 2. It's all based on what you guys want. So if you guys want a part 2, then like the video, share it if people are having trouble, and comment if you want a part 2. See you guys. I hope this helped.